we're back. We've got a few bits and pieces to do here today. We've got these electrical panels to sort out. They need to go on there and everything needs to get wired up. And I think that's what I'll tackle first. So this one, let's have a look at what we've got here. This being for our battery monitor, would come through the top of that. This one being for the 240 hookup, would go through there and through there. And the rest of this lot will come through the bottom one, like so. Now, what we want to do first of all is just screw this into place. I think that's looking good. As I say, first thing I'm going to do is stick this one on, because we will need to get hold of that box from the back. So I'll get the electrical tools and stuff like that, and we'll get this one done. Right, and the wiring of this is, I mean, to 240 volt, same as a normal domestic 240 volt socket. So what I'm going to do is just cut that to length. We want it about there. Okay, and we can pull it out to strip it. Just make the job a little bit easier. Okay, we want the box back in, and then we just want to connect that up to here. So what we have is neutral, live, sorry, earth, live, neutral. So we'll get the earth in first. It'll be a little bit fiddly to get this positioned, I would think, but that's the show. This came with these black-headed screws to fix it in. So we'll just line one of those up. And get that started. Right, next one, I'm going to put the monitor in, and then we will tackle this lot. Top monitor unit. I'll square that up. I'm going to start the hole off there. And again, this comes with these really little screws, which will just secure it in place. And then that has a little cover which will just snap back on. Good, so far so good. Here's our panel. And we have all of the labels. It's a pity these labels are always made for a boat, I believe. So you've got, you know, things like bilge sump and stuff like that on them, but we may be able to find some appropriate ones on there to tell us what we're wiring up to here. Now that's also come with some screws. This is good, but the way that this is configured is of no use really for what we're going to do with it. So I'm going to start taking these out, clipping them back, and then we'll look at getting it into the van. Okay, here we go. Got all our stuff in here. Panels going up that way, and this first one will be the feed for it. So what we want to find is that's going to the seat lights, so it says 5-switch panel. That's it there. So this cable will be fixed to this first switch here. So let's clip that off. And we'll strip some of the sheathing off. And then a little bit off the neutral and a little bit off the live. This is obviously switched off at the fuse box right now. Okay, now on the wiring of this, I may have said that incorrectly earlier, I'm not sure, but what we have is, this is the switched live, and that's the permanent live. So the permanent live goes to the center, like that, and the switched live goes to the bottom. So we have the neutral to the top, to the brass coloured one, we have the permanent live to the center connector, and we have the switched live to the bottom. What would come next? Right, this is the kitchen lights from the fuse box, and this one is to the kitchen lights. So we want to get some of that stripped off. This is what we're doing next, the kitchen lights. I'll just get an appropriate thing for that as well. Right, so again, we want some of this stripping back. And now the only difference with this is we want the neutral from here and from here, tying together, sticking on the top, and then the live putting in the bottom. And that's going to be the same for the rest of them. Okay, so we've got all that wired up. That's all looking good. That is going to sit in there like that, I think. Yeah, that'll sit in there like that nicely. I'm not going to screw that in yet. I'm going to test everything first, make sure that we're all good, and then we'll get this screwed in. Right, so the next thing to do is put these lights in. We have the cable, which we're just wired up there, coming from the switch panel. I'm going to get the lights and put them in. Again, this is very straightforward. It's red wire, black wire, and that should be it. Okay, looking good with the lights. They are all working, that's fine. Whack them off there. The panel is working as it should. Right, so I'm happy with all of that. I'm going to get on and do the other lights on this side, and then I'll come and wire this panel up, which is very similar, you know. You've got the USB, which will be connecting into there, and the thing for the heater is face mounted, so that will push through there and we'll screw that on. That's what we're up to next. Alright, so with having most of the electrical work done in here, I think the only thing I've got left to do is wire the fridge up when I put that in, and to wire up the water pump when I get the sink and water tanks in. But the very last thing to do on that is to connect this up. We've got this cable here coming from the Renogy unit, and we've got the negative one over there, and we need to get those attached to the battery, and we want a fuse in between them. So I've already made the fuse here. That essentially will go on there. This will then fit the other side of the fuse, and I'll do the same and just stick the negative on there. I'll just get on with that. I don't really have enough room to put the camera in there as well, so I'm going to get on with that, and when that's finished we'll look at the next, well, onto a new phase at this point, I think. Okay, and just to show you this, I've wired the DC thing up, we've got the van running, and our light has come on there. So very happy with all of that. Everything seems to be working as it should. If we go back to our battery monitor, it is now giving us the reading for the starter battery as well. So this is all good. Got all these panels in. Our diesel heater thing seems to be working all right. Still need to prime that, but again, that's one of those jobs which will get done. Right, so I'm going to knock the van off, switch it off, and then we're in here to get some of this sawdust, rubbish and all that taken out of here. Okay, so I've got my dustpan and brush. I'm just going to take the major stuff off first, then we'll give this a good hoover, and in doing that I'm going to discover any little snags anywhere which will need to be sorted out as we go. Little bits of the carpeting need squaring up and stuff like that, but that's always the case. Okay, van has been swept and cleaned, looking much better. I'll put the cover plates back down because there still is a little bit of work to do in here. Well, it's quite a bit actually. But the next thing, with that all nice and squared up, next thing to do is to square the workshop up. Again, tools have accumulated, stuff all over the benches. I'm going to sort this out, and then what we're going to do is put these on. These are the toe plates for underneath the benches and around the bed, and that will be the next task. So I'm going to take a measurement along the front of here. See what we've got. We've got 173. So I'm going to put a piece of that plate that we made earlier to 173. So having marked and cut that, what we want to do is just mark it on the back where these legs are. So we put some screw holes in and fix that in place. And aside here, I have put an extra support in this cabinet here underneath. This is going to carry the gas bottle, and I just want to make sure that that's not going to start moving around or jumping about or anything like that. So we have an extra support on it. Now, further decision to be made of where does the outlet for the heater go. Is it going to go here or is it going to go there? What I'll do is I'll get the ducting, see how far it will go, and from that we'll figure out the best place to put this. So with the ducting on here, furthest out we're going to get it is about here. I just wonder if that's enough. We can obviously make it point this way. Decisions. It's either that or get another piece of ducting, a longer piece. No, you know, to tell you the absolute truth, I'd prefer it here. I would prefer it here like this. So therefore what we can do is I'll cut the hole in here, and then we can put the toe plates on the rest of the bed area, and I'm going to have to send away for another piece of ducting and an extension to bring it out this way. I'd prefer it there. To finish up on that, I've attached the vent for the heater to there. That's going to sit in there like that, and as I say, I think that's much better. It's closer to the centre of the van. You can turn it that way if you want the air to blow to the bed area, turn it the other way if you want it to fill up the rest of the van. So pleased with that. We'll order the other stuff and then we shall get on. Unfortunately I cannot fix this in right now because I do need access to it from behind to fit the conduit on. So on to the next thing. That is going to fit in there like that. The thing that we have though is the column. And is the column deeper than the depth of that? I'm going to find that out, and if it's okay, what I'll try to do is bandsaw that section out of there, and then that'll fit nice tight up against the wall, and I think that'll be very good there. Okay, I've tried that with a bandsaw and I've got to say it is struggling a bit. Next option, I'll try routering it out. That may work. I'll try that. I'll just do it on a scrap piece first and see if I can get the technique correct. Right, tried a bit of the routering on that, and that doesn't seem to be so bad actually. I think it's going to be a combination of the two. If I can cut these insides here with the bandsaw, which I think I can, and then I'll clean the rest of that out to the right depth with the router, and we'll see how that all turns out. Alright, I think that looks okay. As I say, a little bit over there, but nothing to worry about, nothing to speak of, you know. I've also noticed that there is a bow on this piece of wood. It's bowed that way. That may present a difficulty in fixing, and it may not. I think the way to fix this will be, I'll drill it through into some of the battens under here, and then we'll dowel it. I'll make some dowels out of the same material and we'll plug them up with that, and that will be a nice strong fix on there. So what to do with the top of it? Let's get it back in the workshop and see what sort of router bits we've got. Okay, let me show you what we've got with this splashback. I've given it a couple of coats of lacquer at this point, and I've taken this little chamfer off this way, and next thing we want to do is see if we can get this into the van. I've got it on, it's good. Took a little bit of clamping and stuff to get it down here, but I think that's looking reasonable. Only thing we need to do now is make some of those little dowels and fill up these screw holes, and just show you what I'm doing with that. I've made these little dowels out of the same sort of material, a little bit of glue around them, and then we can knock them in to the screw holes. Once all that's gone off, we'll get the saw and whip them off. Okay, happy with that. They've all got the plugs in. Just need to let that go off, and I think that looks much better on there. So, pleased with that one. Now, next, we have the gas to consider. What I'm going to do, I'll just work along these cabinets one by one. And this is the gas cabinet. So, what I'm going to do, I've got a 9 kilogram bottle. I'm going to see if it'll fit in there. If not, we'll have to go and get another one. Right, this is a 9 kilogram bottle. I think it's a 6 kilogram bottle, and it's too big. This is just one I had lying around the place. I didn't get it specifically, but look at that. It's just hitting that top rail there. So that one's no good. We'll have to go for one of the, I think it's 3.8, the next one down. But that will be sufficient. But what we want to do is make the bracket for this to hold it, and I'm sure it's the same circumference as this, so we'll get on with that in the workshop. Right, so what I want to do is place the bottle on there like that. We want to make a mark about here, so I'll cut this off first, then we'll mark the circumference and cut that off. Just to finish up on this, that's going to go that way, so I'm going to put a hole in it here for some bungee cord. Very simple sort of fastening and loosening device for the gas bottle. So we'll get that about the same there. Right, so as I say, that would go through there, not on the bottom. Then it's going to stretch its way around and it'll hook under there. Fit that. I want to put it about there. That will hold the bottle just fine. Okay, secure. This is good. Right now, unfortunately, I can't go and get a gas bottle. It is indeed Saturday today. It's after 12 o'clock and the gas place will be shut. So we're going to have to put that one on hold until Monday, and we can just move along here, and the next thing we've got to go in is the fridge. So I'll go and get it. Right, we've got the fridge. Now we need to wire it up. We've got its connection there. Let's take a look and see what's going on here. Okay, here we go. If we can see this, we have this being the live and neutral for this, and there's quite a lead on that, and there's also an inline fuse. Now this is actually now fused at the fuse box, so I'm going to whip that inline fuse off and we'll just connect that straight up there. That's that one, and we'll do the same with this neutral cable, and again have a couple of these things to connect this up. Now we just need to get this round into position and connect it to these, and then I'll test it. Right, we've got the wires done. We'll just redo the breaker in the fuse box and we'll switch it on there. Yes, it's buzzed, its lights have come on, and if we press power, yes, that has indeed started up, so happy with that. I'll switch it back off, switch it off here, and now it's just a matter of getting this into the housing. So let's have a look at that one. It was a fairly good fit before when I tried this in the workshop, so should be the same now. They're just difficult to pick up, these things. Okay, that seems reasonable. Door opens correctly. Just line that up a bit, it's a little bit off square, so to speak. It's sitting nice and squarely in the housing, so next thing to do is to screw it into position. Now, as I say, we have these lugs here which come off, and what they will want is just a little hole drilled through them, and then we probably get a 40mm screw. Another hole through this one. And another 40mm screw. That's got it. Right, I'll do the same on the other side, and then the fridge is in, moving right along. It's time to get the sink in. There's no fittings or anything with this to be able to screw it in, so I'm thinking the best bet is to silicone it. We'll try that. I'll just put a line of this silicone over this spongy thing that they've got on there. We'll see how this works out. If it's okay, it's okay. If not, we'll think of something else. For now, the thing to do is just flip that. It goes that way around, so it's going to sit in there. like that. That's good, it seems to be okay. Got a little bit of ooze coming out the side here, so we'll whip that off. Right, that seems reasonable. Now what I'm going to do is, what have I got? I've got some carpet which I'm going to put in there, and then I've got some weights which I'm going to put in, and that will just pull it down to the surface until the silicone has set. Okay, whilst that sink is setting, there is a couple of snags that I've noticed, and one of them is this. With having the overhang on the worktop, this door now hits it here. So what I'm going to do is make a mark on that, which would be there. I'm going to see if I can whip this off, and we'll just cut that line down there. Okay, that's a lot better. We're just taking just a slice off that. I mean, the upholstery will cover that, so not a great problem, and that tons of space under there. Okay, back to the sink. I've realised that I can't actually get on with this. I thought I was going to have to let the whole thing dry first, but I don't think I do. I can put this in, then I can put the weights back on, and that will be absolutely fine. Alright, so we've got that there. Happy with that, that seems nice and tight. Obviously we'll check all of this for leaks. And we have in here just the U-bend which is going on there. Again, it comes with a little rubber gasket which we'll put on there. And then that is again just hand tightened. If our waste tank goes here, that is going to fit in there nicely. Yeah, that is fine. I'll take a larger hole out of here to hug this pipe. Okay, so if you can see that, I've cut a hole in this plastic stop thing. That's going to fit in there nicely, and that will screw back on. So that's good, pleased with that so far. Right, now there's this side to do as well, but what I think I'll do first is, this is raised up here, so I think I'll put another strip on there so I'll get that nice and snug against the side of the cabinet, and then we'll look at how to fix these in, how to stop them from jumping around. Right, I've sorted all of this out. I'm going to have them both on this side, I think, and that leaves plenty of room here. Could put a small bin or something like that, cleaning materials, whatever. Now I put a hook here. I'm going to put one on the other side, and they will bungee round together, and that should be okay. Okay, so here we have the wiring for the tap and the pump, and these are just a little bit short on the bared ends, so we'll take a little bit more off them. So we've got on the tap here, we've got this one's got a black line down it, this one has not, so we're going to say this one is the live. So we want that connected into there. Very good. And then we want that connecting to the live from the fuse box. Now again, obviously I've switched the fuse box off and everything at this point. Thrown the breaker switch, so to speak. And what we want to do is just take a little piece of this off. And again, bare the ends of that. Right, so that is going in there to the switch. And when the tap is switched, then this one will go live. So that one wants to go to the live of the pump. Same thing, we'll just make a good connection there. That's it. And similarly, a good connection there. Right, now I'll test this. We should get a little whir out of that if it's all working as it should. Right, I powered it back up at the fuse box, and if I turn the tap on, there you go. Good. Now all we need to do here is tidy this wiring up a little bit. I'll put this in some conduit and clip it to the side of the cabinet here, and then we want the water pipe. Right, so just to finish up on that, we've got the wire conduited in. We've got this one just hanging loose, obviously, for the water pump. This is all looking good. very pleased with all of that. But now, just to finish up with this splashback, I've got my Japanese pull saw here, and I'm just going to carefully see if I can get these off. That's good. Right, that's going to sand down. It'll lacquer back over. Happy with that. Okay, we're nearly there, you know. Need to make a table to stick on here, and then we need to get the doors on. And at that point it would just be a matter of having a look around, finding anything which needs freshening up, tidying up at all, and doing that. So for this video, that is indeed it. If you enjoyed the video, do give it a thumbs up, and if you would like to see the last little bits of this van come together, please do consider subscribing to the channel. And in the meantime, I thank you very much for watching.